Hi ghouls! Welcome back to Freaky Flick Friday. Here's a list of the horror movies releasing for the third week of February, where you could watch them, so let's talk horror. Released on video on demand on the 17th is Cara. This film is about a troubled young woman who was in a mental institution and is now turning to online work to combat the trauma she suffered, but is convinced that there's a conspiracy to recommit her, so she comes up with a heinous plan that involves her viewers. So released on video on demand on the 17th was The Baby in the Basket. This film is set in 1944 during World War II, and St. Augustine's nuns have sought refuge for a storm on this remote Scottish island. A cloaked figure drops a baby off at their doorstep, and as they take the baby in for shelter for the storm, one sister is convinced that this baby is indeed the spawn of Satan. Released today on video on demand is Everyone is Going to Die. This film is about a father and a daughter reconnecting for her birthday, and what is supposed to be a lovely bonding time turns into a complete nightmare when they are taken hostage by two female robbers. And released today in limited theaters is Invader. This film is about a young woman who arrives to Chicago and is convinced that something terrible has happened to her missing cousin. As she begins to dig deeper, she descends into complete and total chaos. And finally, released today in theaters is Osgood Perkins' adaptation of Stephen King's The Monkey. The story is about two brothers who had a toy monkey growing up, and this monkey caused a lot of mayhem in the form of some gruesome deaths. They are reunited with this monkey years later and forced to face the sinister entity and take back their lives in the grip that the monkey had. Those are the horror movies releasing for the third week of February. Like always, I'll have the list over on my Letterboxd for you to check out. And don't forget to check out my playlist on my page for Freaky Flick Fridays for any horror movies you may have missed. And I'll be back next week with all new horror movie releases. But until then, stay gruesome, ghouls.